Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So this is the week we work on the last space downstairs in the bottom corner, and you guessed it, it has to be a Christmas shop. So if you guys have been hanging with me for a while, you'll know that my background is Christmas shops. I've had numerous stores over the years and thoroughly enjoyed the industry, and it's just given me such a creative outlet to create my own unique pieces and decor items and textiles, and it's just been such an adventure. I am winding things down to semi-retire, if that's such a thing. And I thought my French chateau here has to have a Christmas shop. So Miss Ellie, in her little red polka dot dress, is going to be the keeper of the Christmas store. Theodore's in the background. He's still tending to all his plants. There is a space behind Theodore, right straight back in there. I've got plans for that, but that'll be another day video. But in the meantime, the Christmas shop is next. Now there is a couple pieces of furniture in there that I will dress with Christmas goodies, everything you would need to bring Christmas into your home as a mouse. There is a cart, you can see that in the background. It's like a little trolley. At the moment it's part of the Christmas plan, but it could merge into the back of the shop behind Theodore as well. We'll just see how we go. The big piece on the back wall is a bookcase with lots and lots of space. So I will be filling that with lots of merchandise that you could, come in and purchase for your house to decorate. Now I might just swing the camera around and come from another angle to show you the next piece of furniture. But in the meantime, I went to our store and picked up some packs of little trees. Now we've sold these for years, and they are like mini trees that our customers use to decorate. So for example, this is like a pack of 3 little mini trees. Those single large trees we sell. Just there's lots of villages and train sets and things like that. Limax houses. Over the years we've always had the accessories. So from time to time I've picked up little packs of trees myself, and then like I said, I made a special trip to the shop and picked up some miniature style things that I think might help me. So I'll go through those goodies shortly, and it might give you some ideas if you're doing a mouse house and you'd like to install some form of Christmas pop-up shop. These are things that I think might be handy to help create the space. So I've got three styles of trees. The bigger one, the pack of 3, and then these little guys are like a pack of 6 little Christmas trees. So at the moment they're just placed. Whether they stay there or not, it's another thing. We'll definitely need a decorated Christmas tree, but then these other ones might just stay as trees that mice can buy and take back to their, apartments. So you've got to buy a Christmas tree at a Christmas shop. Okay, I'll reposition the camera and show you the piece that's against the wall behind that tree. So just hang with me and I'll pause the video. Okay, so on the opposite wall is a cabinet that is tiered with some drawers, and then I've sat on top of it a magazine rack. All of these 3 items have come from Temu. The cabinet that is tiered I often see dressed with baked goods, and I thought that might be perfect for me to create, some baskets or some trays, some Christmas boxes just to hold bits and pieces. And then the magazine rack that's sitting on top, Christmas cards, maybe Christmas books. So I'm off to Etsy next to see what printables I can get that are 1:12 scale, and then I can make up some bits and pieces for that. And of course, I think that's it for what I'll put into the store, but we'll see. I've got a hessian on the ground here, which I'm glad I did, because when I first did the floors in this house, I thought this might be a garden centre / cafe. So I'm pleased that the floor still works and it's just a different texture. It sort of feels a bit different. So there you go. So I'll pause the video and I'm going to head to my desk and just show you some random items I've picked up. I don't know if I'll use them, but it might inspire something. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, back at the desk. I haven't brought over the pieces of furniture yet because at the moment I'm just sort of seeing what I've got in the cupboards from my journal making days, Christmas, and also these are the bits and pieces that I took from the store that, may or may not be of use. So the Christmas trees, a little 12-pack, 3-pack, that's what they sort of look like. These will pop up in all of the cheap stores around Christmas. They're pretty common sort of Christmas item. These are gift tag embellishments that we sell. I don't know. I thought the words might be handy, or even signs for them to pop around their house, like for sale. Like we sell timber signs that have, words on them like garden stakes and things. So I thought maybe I could make some garden stakes, like put a toothpick in there and a base. So yeah, think about those. This one here caught my eye. I thought maybe this one could be at the front of the store as a sign, like let's call the shop Wonderful Time of the Year, or I don't know, doesn't quite work, but I thought the colours look good for that. So they're like embellishments that people use to make things. I grabbed my twine. I thought maybe winding this around the 2 columns. There's 2 columns directly below a floor which holds the studio above, and that sort of felt a bit like a candy stripe. I don't know, I might come up with another idea. Little set of lights. I did put some batteries in to make them work. Watch your eyes, like they're too bright. I need to go through my cupboard and see if I can find some warm white ones. These just didn't quite feel like a chateau, and technically it's probably candles only. But there's nothing technically correct about my house to the period of time. Then I just picked up, and I know I won't need all of these, but I've got a lot of little kids that are around me in the street, so I might just donate them to the girls. They can wear them at Christmas. But in the meantime, there might be things I could harvest from here to create, maybe that could be a hanging pendant with baubles on it. What am I trying to say? A bell with baubles on it, restring it. That's a little bracelet, and have the bell hanging just to decorate the ceiling. So that was an idea when I picked up those 2. These earrings, I like the scale of the little bells. I thought, well, they're nice and small, so they've got potential of decorating my Christmas tree. This one here might be too big, but it's a little bracelet, so potentially I can break it down into a single line and make a garland that drapes across. I don't know. Like, I've got lots of goodies, but the space is always limited. So another little bracelet. I like those beads. Even if I make some baskets and sell bead decorations to people, like I've seen miniaturists make things out of beads, like lights and ornaments. So maybe these little rhinestones glued together on a little stand could make some form of candle that you'd put on your table for Christmas. A couple more of those. I couldn't decide if I was going to be doing silver, gold, or red, or all of them. So I think they're hair ties, actually. Kids put them in their hair for Christmas. And then as for just ornaments that look a little bit more, I don't know, professional than what I'd ever make, I started looking at all these little necklaces and earrings like that. I don't want to open them because if I don't use them, I can send them back, but I don't know how that'll go. It's like too late now, isn't it? Like I said, there's so many little kids around me that I can just pop these in little neighbourhood stocking stuffers. See the little Santa heads? So I thought maybe I could create decorations for the Christmas tree. Little, what do you call it, candy canes. So I've just picked up a selection of little, look at the little reindeers. The best way to display them, yet to see. They're cute. I'd need some form of hanging device. I'd have to, I don't know, baskets full of decorations that you rummage through, possibly, might be the easiest way. I thought these might be good for the top of the Christmas tree. Look, I've got Christmas tree bits in here from it falling off. Now, this little kit we have in the store as a miniature Christmas tree. That's way too big for my house, but maybe they've got potential to be in baskets for decorating. Just some big baubles. They're very big. Bit of tinsel. It's the smallest tinsel I could find, so I thought that's got potential as well. A little bit of gold string. Who knows? Anyway, that's those things. I'll pause the video because I've got some things I already owned from my journal making days. So let's go through those next. Okay, more ideas. Now these are biscuit containers. I'm a fan of when our Big W in Australia does biscuits and they put them in beautiful trays. So I haven't had any for a little while, but there was one point I was living near a Big W, so at Christmas I was sort of in there all the time. So it was always great to just pop in and see what biscuit thingies they had. I don't think there's a great deal in here. That's just Stamperia. Christmas themed papers. So once again, some more trims. I was part of the Crazy Craft monthly subscription for a little bit. Christmas wish list. Some little cards. So there was some random things they sent out. And they were sort of leftovers, some stickers. So these were all part of those packs. This is what caught my memory when I was thinking about the other night. Is the Tim Holtz. That's all Kaiser Craft, not really the aesthetics, but these. I remember picking these up a little while back. And there's all sorts of vintage looking bits and pieces. So I think that's got, you know, potential of sprucing up my store or putting a bow on cabinetry or signage. There's some nice vintage pictures of Santa. I think that's a definite. We'll pull that out. Some Christmas stamps. So I'm hoping that that's the gift that keeps giving. I'll keep that out. So far I'm not seeing anything that I like too much. Oh, some nativity scenes. So some religious ones. I'll have a look through those as well. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. It's all size. That's the challenge, isn't it? It's getting things that are small enough. This is some ephemera that I've made from digital kits plus from Kaiser Craft packs. So there's a few bits and pieces in here. Can be cut down, potentially. Put into the, or some music. Put into the little book shelf, you know, the magazine rack. So I might keep that out because I like the colour palette of those. There's a few more. Some string. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. Like I always pull out too much and it's only a little house, so you sort of don't need half of what you pull out. So definitely some good things there. So what else have we got? I think this is timber, yes. Like I said, part of that subscription was bits and pieces that Kaiser Craft sold. They don't seem to sell as much as they used to, and I haven't even opened them because I didn't do a lot of Christmas journals. So I think we could have a range of timber decorations. These will be great. Oh, look, we could do something on the sides of... Oh, maybe we could glue those on those poles. That would look super cool. If I can get a straight line through there and they become florals. Could hang some baubles, timber baubles. Oh, look at you. You'd be cool too on that. You know, the poles that come down and there's a floor. I could have a trumpeting angel. Oh, I like some of these things. We might keep the trumpeting angel out. That sort of sparked a thought. I might keep them out. I'll keep the doves, and I'll keep those, and I'll keep these. Just making a mess, that's what I'm doing. Okay, I think I've got an empty one of these trays in the cupboard, so I might pack a little bit of mouse mansion-y things into that empty tray. And yeah, I'm going to do this video over a series of days because I'm sort of still percolating on the ideas and thinking about it all. The other thing too is when Susanna was with me, she cut and prepped a heap of fabrics, and in here is Tilda Christmas. So there's an opportunity to bring a bit of fabric textiles, jelly rolls, fat eighths, bolts of fabrics down into the Christmas shop as well. So that's hours of work as well. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Yeah, I will pause the video and like usual, just bring you along for the journey. Thanks for joining me so far. See you in a moment. Okay, just still on the vein of bits and pieces that potentially can be made for the space. I went to Etsy, and I used to love making Christmas journals and ephemera from My Porch Prints. So I typed in miniature, and lo and behold, there was a file of Christmas book covers or books in miniature, and oh, love the aesthetic of it. So I really feel like I've found my colour palette now, and this feels very French for me in the reds and the creams and things. So these can be made up into miniature books and go into my little magazine rack. These are slightly bigger ones, and they'll sort of help with a bit of height and depth, and oh, absolutely love them. So I've got those, and then great instructions on how to do it. So I'll put the links to all of these at the bottom of the video. This is one I found a little while back when I was looking for bits and pieces, and I sort of had it put aside ready for one day when I got to this section of the house. This is a little box with a lid that has sheet music in it, and yeah, I thought this is great. I'll make that up. Maybe this could be modified to make just random boxes, like use the template and just make colourful random boxes, maybe out of, I don't know, some card stock or something. We'll see how big they work up, so I want to have a play with those. Here's another one. These are all little Christmas cards. So boxes of cards, single cards. So I'll put the link to that store in the video. More boxes, more boxes, more boxes. I did a couple of prints of them, and they also had in this package, you could make rolled wrapping paper. So we could have a box of tubes of wrapping paper for the mice to buy gifts and wrap. So that's where we're at. Yeah, all right. May the adventure begin. I think the girls are pretty excited. They've been looking in that space, wondering what's been going on. So we might cut to the girls next because they're over there yibby-yabbering with Ellie about, you know, potential Christmas shop coming. I'll be back in a moment.
Hi, Ellie. How are you? We heard there's a Christmas shop coming. Yes, there is. Mum told me to be down here ready to receive goods. Oh, my goodness. Skeeter, we could get a Christmas tree for the apartment upstairs. Oh, I like that one. Oh, yes. I can't wait to see what happens in this space. Ellie, you're so lucky to be working in the Christmas shop. Oh, how exciting. Oh, I'm beside myself. Oh, Ellie, you're going to have a ball putting this shop together. Oh, wow, Ellie, stand up. You're starting to fall over. I know, I'm weary. Just thinking about all the work. You'll be okay. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, Ellie, we will be back. We'll come and see the progress and we'll see what all happens. Oh, Christmas is my favourite time of the year. Mine too. Oh, it's going to be fun.
Well, hello, I'm back again. Oh my goodness, I have spent hours toiling on this particular gondola of Christmas stock. It has just all day, and I still have things I'd like to make for the space. But I thought I'm going to come in and show you where I'm at so far, because we sort of need to get this into the house to work out the next stage and what I do on that back wall, because there's been a few idea changes. When you're sitting, gluing and inking and positioning, your head just goes off on all sorts of tangents. So the first thing I did is I pulled apart all of that jewellery, which gave me little beads, little baubles, little bells. And I've also got a heap of little pendant Christmas orientated bits and pieces. I rummaged through my Temu supplies and I pulled out these baskets. I think they're the last of my baskets. I might have one or two left, and I've slung them upstairs just so that I've got things to put things in down the track. So what I did is, I'm going to jump all over the place here, but I glued a few of the little metal earring pendants on a couple of the baskets. And also on that card stand is a little Santa, and there's a glistening reindeer, and then filled the baskets with all of the little medallions. So they are just sitting loose in those little baskets. The snowflake that's there, if you can see it, let me bring it up to the camera. The snowflake that's in that little basket there, and the round one in that corner, that's on top of a Christmas tree. And there's a little bell here that I had picked up, two of the same decoration. So I ended up with 4 of these. So I've taken everything else, I've got 2 by 2, bar this little reindeer. I think the reindeer and the bell were together. That's right, it was a chain drop with the reindeer and the bell. So I ended up with 4 of these, and they have become little decorations on one of the Christmas trees. I'll show you that when we get to the house. So there's one spare. I might need it yet. It'll depend on the Christmas tree and how it's positioned. These little bells from the little bracelets, and in the drawers below are the bigger bells. Too big really for scale, but I guess if you were a mouse and you wanted some big feature bells, you've come to the right space. So this is the green ones and a few, let's call them ugly gold ones, you know, that real tinny gold. Little multicolored bells here and little red bells. And I've actually glued everything down so it doesn't move. So these drawers are, you know, pulled open to show their wares. Little baskets that adhered. Here's the little pack of cards. So there's cards in envelopes. This is the little digital kits that I purchased. Cards in envelopes and just cards in general. That's a little box with the lid. The lid from this box, because I decided to have it open so that the mice can flick through it and make a selection, is sitting up here. And I've glued it tight to the card stand, so it actually looks like a full pack of cards, but it's not. It's just the lid. And I've glued it in upside down, guys. Look, the Christmas tree is upside down. Oh, my goodness sakes. No one will know because that's the side not viewed, so shush, don't tell anyone. I finished making some books. I didn't end up making all the books that my porch print had on that digital. They were a bit big. I could have scaled them down. I could have made them smaller, but I ended up just making 2 of the bigger ones, cutting down the gingerbread house and the gingerbread man ones. And then I had some little fake books that had come with something from Temu, and they had, like, there was a Harry Potter and, you know, titles that just aren't in a French chateau. So using some of the cards, I wrapped those 4 books so they look like Christmas books, but they're actually the cards. The sheet music, I've just positioned it, like scattered it across the bottom, and of course stood the deer in there. There was some gift tags that had artwork that was very black and white, and a little Merry Christmas fit nicely there. And that was a random set of those Temu books that I ended up not covering because I didn't have artwork small enough, and I figured that them glued together, you can't see that they are like Vogue and, you know, random titles. The shelving unit itself, I ended up getting some scrapbook paper out, and I just put some on the surface that the basket sits on. You can see there's a little candy striped piece of paper. I didn't do the back of the, you know, the upright, if you will. There could be steps, but yeah, didn't do the back just to keep that pine look. But I did put on the side a piece of blue and red candy striped scrapbook paper, so it really helped make it look Christmassy. And the card stand, I've actually just glued into position as well, so the whole unit is set to go. So we will go and put that in the house because I need to make some decisions about the back wall. There's been a few changing ideas. So my wrapping paper, I made the wrapping paper. That's ready to be merchandised, and in there, that's a little cap, a little lid that was just kicking around in every time I see something that I think suits the house pile. It's random shapes, and, you know, it could have been a lamp, you know, just all sorts of things, lids and things. So to extend it, because these were falling out, I got myself some hessian. I glued it to some calico, and then that made that, you know, double the depth. Glued it. It looked very plain and you couldn't see it in the house. So I ended up getting some of the Christmas twine and decorating those, the top edge and bottom edge, and I really like it. It's subtle, but you can still sort of see it when you start looking at detail. So my next things to work on is a mat. And I have cut this piece of fabric out thinking that I'll slow stitch it to make, you know, a rug. I just felt like the room needed a really branded Christmas rug, and the little stand will sit about there. Like, I have a bit of wriggle room. As you walk into the room, there's a collection of Christmas trees to the side, and that's where a mouse would buy a Christmas tree for their house, take it back. They might buy some baubles, some decorations, some books, some cards. So it's all about decorating your Christmas tree and potentially a bit of gift giving, which I'll show you something else that I've actually glued into position. So when we get over to the house, I'll show you where I'm at. So like usual, just using my wood ultimate Gorilla Glue to make everything sit. So, okay, let's go to the house, because I just need to talk through the back wall and show you what I'm up to. Okay, so the first part of my day, I started working on lighting, but I'll show you that in a moment. I just want to get my train of thought of the Christmas decorating category out, and then I can sort of make a bit more room for the next stage. So you will notice here at the entry, there is a letterbox. Now that was from my Limax bits and pieces. We sell Limax in our stores. Well, we used to, we don't anymore. And there was all sorts of little trinkets. So I found this little dog, and I thought he was rather cute for a Christmas statue. So he's at the moment sitting there. I've got this gap, so I'm trying to disguise that we've got a very unusual little space to fill. I can hear Pepper and Bandit barking. So little dog and a little tree, and then the big Christmas tree in behind. So I think I've got that sorted. Over here was a similar thing. There's a little red trolley there. That's part of my Limax, and I've got some parcels and letters to Santa, and that's the letterbox to put your letter to Santa. Now, further over in Nibble Nook, I have, you know, an actual postal box for the general mail. But I thought for the Christmas shop I could have a bit of fun, because we always have a mailbox where kids can come in and write a letter to Santa and pop it in the mailbox. So we had to have one of those in the Christmas shop. And I've just used some of that My Porch print artwork. That was a book cover, so I've cut it down to fit on the front. Glued a little letter to Santa into position and made a little sign for the top of it that just says Merry Christmas. You'll notice that there's some bunting up here. I auditioned so many different things and everything just overpowered the space. So I ended up keeping it simple and just draped some of that twine through and glued it, and then made a little independent bow with long tails and glued that and that. And then this sign was one of those gift tag signs. So on the card stand, you saw the black Merry Christmas. Well, that was just too good not to use. It did have a second piece to it. I'm just grabbing it out of the little waste paper bin here. It was mounted on that, and it just didn't need the size, so I ended up taking off of that. Plus it had glitter, and it didn't seem to feel like I needed that glittery look. So I detached it, mounted it, and I love it. It's simple and elegant. So what I've got here is the bits and pieces from the Tim Holtz Christmas range. I'd actually forgotten that I had pulled this out because, you know, there's just containers of stuff everywhere. And I thought, oh, maybe there was a better sign, maybe delivery to Santa sign, something like that. But I didn't find anything to replace what I've already put in place. Does that make sense? So I'm pleased about that. But I did find that, and that. So I've decided to use them in the background, which is what sort of brought me to thinking about the back. I've just dropped stuff everywhere. Oh my goodness, pick it up later. So what I'm going to do, before we talk about the back wall, I just want to slide in my gondola of Christmas wares. So there she is there. Bit better light here. The sun was starting to intrude. So what I'd like to do is very carefully put that into position, because once this is in position, I can then decide what I'm doing with the rug. Oh, just knocked a little decoration out. That's all right if that's all I ruin. Tell you, it's like delicate fingers. I want it snug up to the house. Okay, so the little Christmas tree forest is going to just meander around this column, and there is a decorated Christmas tree there. That's all the bits from the jewelry, the beads, a few of those little bells, tiny beads, and that was the stud earring. I snipped off a bit of the shank and glued it into position. So we've got a pretty Christmas tree decorated in the Christmas shop. So I'm happy with that. I did think about tree skirts and, you know, gosh, you could really go to town. I probably have too many Christmas trees, but I don't know. We sell close to 30 different, it might be more, 35 different varieties of Christmas trees in our Christmas shop. So I really wanted to, you know, have the forest. It's a very big part of our business. So I wanted a tree forest. So pretty much you buy your tree and you go over here and get your goodies. That little basket was left and I just put some of the little beads, Christmas beads that I liked. Please stop here, Santa. So that'll probably just lean in there against a tree. We sell garden stakes that you put out in the garden so that the kids can see, you know, please stop here for Christmas. Now you're probably wondering, gee, it looks dark, Corrine. Well, it does. Not sure how I'm going to use these yet. Well, that one, I know what I'm going to do with them. That's a little Limax Santa that I want to put into the house somewhere. Might just stand there. I think I like that. That's very Christmassy. So what I'm going to do is show you the next thing, which is lighting. Before I started this whole palaver of Christmas decorations, I went through my cupboard with all my decorations for my house, and I found these little sets of lights. These are little lights I created many moons ago. I can always tell by the code. So 2016 is when I created these, and they are little copper wire lights, very fine wire with that little bud of a light. I have a few different types, but these were the finer ones. So what I did is sat here for like close to 2 hours and wound it through the bottom of the mouse mansion. And let me just turn on the lights for you. Boom, there we go. We have lights in the house. So I started the end up the top. I'll just lift this camera up. I see the light on the wall up there near the bed. So that room was very dark and I had some little wall lights. So I managed to get a bulb and glue it into that little, I'm going to drop the camera, into that little itty bitty bulb, and took the wire out of the house and dropped it back down. And then down here, I'll come a bit lower, I sort of scooted around the ceiling a bit. I figured it was a Christmas shop, so we could certainly glisten that up some more. And then I just worked my way underneath the first level and just used my hot glue and attached them all the way. And then when I got to the nibble nook, once again I had another one of those little pendants, and you'll see on the wall here above the couch, where is it, there, that's the last bulb before the battery pack. So I managed to get it glued into the little pendant. It dodges out the back of the house here, and there's my where is my hand, my little battery pack, which just sits outside the house. So it worked a treat, and I have one more set. So I'm thinking it'll be taken through, you know, the rest of the house. I would have probably preferred warm white, but I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. I don't have any in stock, so I couldn't even just grab myself another little set. We've sold out. Now, let's zoom in to the back wall, and I might just pause and reposition so I can just talk you through that. Oh, before I do, I'm going to put this rug on the floor here and just make sure it's the right piece of fabric, colour, etc., etc. So I might do that and get myself into position, and I'll show you what I'm thinking of doing next. Won't be a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sort of got you in a better position. So you can see the potential of the rug for the floor. I just can't decide. So I'm just going to let it sit there overnight and just sort of think about it. I'm just not convinced it's the right piece. Also, actually, I forgot to put the wrapping paper in, and I think I had the wrapping paper in my head this side. I wanted it to be seen. So we need to move that a fraction. Bring the Christmas tree that's there. Bear with me, guys. Like, seriously, you can fiddle with this for hours. Yeah, the wrapping paper there. Sometimes a little bit of space helps a lot when doing these. And like I pile in so much stuff and then I pare it back. I find that quite interesting that sort of happens. There we go. Might even put that there. So it sort of creates a bit of depth and a little story. That's not much of a view for you. Anyway, back wall. Now, what's happened is because of all this intense things at the front, and I got so much stuff into that little gondola there, my big bookcase that I had planned for that back wall, I'm running out of ideas. So I've pulled it out and I've found the fireplace sitting upstairs, which sort of looks like it's in the wrong spot. And I'm going to put the fireplace back there. Now, also, another thing that's been taken out is this cart. There's just not enough room. So that's out. It can be used elsewhere. But what I have taken from upstairs is I have another one of these. Now, I've used one in the nursery, and I'm thinking of putting this guy in the back corner. Let me just put my big arm in there. You can just hear Gaz has come in. We're supposed to be going out for dinner tonight, and I'm in here doing this. So the fireplace will go in. That will go beside it. A little bit of jiggling. The other thing is I really like the French paper on that back wall. So I was sort of pleased when that big bookcase came out because it's really pretty. I have a vintage sewing machine that was on the fireplace. I'm going to still use it. Just bear with me as we get that into position. And I also have a brass little bunny. So I'm going to put him up there. So as for styling in that back corner, I'm still thinking that tall boy there, I'm thinking about filling it full of everything you need for a party. So if you needed some nice fancy plates, some napkins, some spoons, some, crockery, you would go there to buy it. So we've got buy your tree, buy your decorations, maybe a gift for someone, send them a card, and in that back corner could be crockery for sale, Christmas party wear. Now there would be no melamine or paper plates in this house, so I've got quite a lot of bits and pieces of crockery and plates that I've picked up. Something about styling that, and also the fireplace, maybe some stockings. I do have a bit of a blank space back there. Not sure what that's going to be. Possibly a chair. I'm just not sure. Something will come to mind. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh, this artwork. I was going to show you this. This garland, I'm thinking of attaching to the wall behind the fireplace. That'll make it look like there's a piece of decorative Christmassy paraphernalia. This I think is a great sign. Or maybe I make a sign and stand that in the corner. So at the end of the day, it's still a shop. So maybe a chair. I forget about that. Yeah, I might make a post for this and a platform. And this is just a sign in that back corner. And this calendar I thought was fantastic to lean on the fireplace, just as some more decorations. We'll need some timber, maybe a fire guard, yada, yada, yada. See how it just goes? It's a shocker. I'm sort of pleased that this big shelving unit is back with me, because this would be great for putting fat quarters in and fabric and things like that. So that's, yeah, I'm pleased with that. All right, I'm going to pause the video and carry on and bring you back up to speed. I love that bedroom now that I got a light up there, guys. Oh my goodness, it's just made all the difference. It's only small, but it's really helped. Okay, all right, pause the video. I better go to dinner. Like, Gaz is tapping his foot at the door going, we're going, we're going to be late. All right, see you soon, guys. Bye. Hello everyone, welcome back. Now it's the next day since I did all of the decorations for your Christmas tree retail space in the Christmas shop, and today I'm going to work on that back wall. So I've got a few ideas floating around in my mind. This was the original piece of fabric that I had cut out yesterday and had planned to lay on the floor. Well, when I walked back in this morning, I felt like it crowded the space. It was like covering the whole floor, and I really like that Hessian floor I've got in there. It sort of makes the whole space look different to the rest of the house. So I then pulled out this guy, and this is what I need to make Christmassy. Fireplace at the back. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll check out the Kath, I think it's Kath Holden fabric. Kath Holden's Christmas Flair. And there's all sorts of, you know, vintage Christmas bits and pieces on here. And I saw that. I thought, well, if that's not a floor mat, nothing is. So I have been over to the house and I've had it at the back where you don't really see it. I've also brought it forward and put it in front of that stand of Christmas bits to buy and the Christmas trees. And I sort of don't mind it there either. So I'm definitely going to do something with this. So the plan is to attach it to this backing because I like the idea of having that little frayed edge around the piece. So I'm going to do that first. Now this, I end up cutting it down somewhere in amongst it's too big, let's do something else. I cut it down and I still like it. It still works in both locations. I guess when you look into the house at a distance, you can't really see what that's about. So technically it's probably better back at the front door with the shelving unit full of goodies. And when you then look back to the back of that space, you can clearly see that there's a Christmas message. So at the moment, this will go with the fireplace, and a shortened cut down version of this will go in front of the stand. So when the mice stand to make their purchases, they're standing on this gorgeous rug. And you never know, I might be able to sell it to them and, you know, it goes off into the chateau. That's, you know, the aim of the game, isn't it? Make a few coins out of those little miceys. So the plan is, hence why I've turned, look, I've got such a mess here. Well, that thread, that's threaded, ready to go. Is to invisible stitch this down and pins. Invisible stitch it down, and I'm thinking of doing some highlight stitching. So maybe follow the edge of that frame, and then there's little flowers and buds and leaves and all sorts. So I'm thinking about, well, I am going to do it. I'm past the thinking stage. Hey, fudge. We're off and racing. Actually, you know what? I might stabilise that with the art glitter glue. I just don't want that to disintegrate, and I can already see a thread coming off. So let's do that first. And this guy, the same thing. I'll put it onto this backing. Some backing fabric. And then go through and, you know, embroider those bits and pieces. So nice little Sunday afternoon project. Now, what else am I thinking about? Oh, I went through my velvets. Not that I have many velvets, and I've really only got the burgundy and the green to make some stockings for the fireplace. I'm not sure how I'm going to attach them. I'm not sure what I'm going to hang them off. Maybe make a simple hook out of something. Not sure. Stocking holder. So I'll show you that in a moment. Okay. It's finally a rainy day here. It's been so humid and so overcast 4 days, and we've woken up this morning and it's obviously hit the 100% humidity, which then flips into rain. And it's so beautiful and so soft. No big crazy thunderstorms. It's just beautiful. So that's now stabilised. That'll be great. I can do some stitching on that. So there's a little project for me. And this little guy, we need to stabilise him as well. I'll just keep it a fair size because the space is limited in front of the actual can't use my words. I think I'm still half asleep. Slept like a log last night. It was great. I've had some restless nights sleep and it was so lovely just to crash finally. All right. That's not going anywhere. What else did I have on my mind that I wanted to bring you guys up to speed on? The piece on the back wall, that card printed vintage artwork. It's still in the front running. I did consider actually putting this piece on the back wall above the fireplace, but the paper, once again, I keep looking at that beautiful French vintage paper. It's just gorgeous. That's really crooked. Before you glue down there, my friend, let's just trim you a little. So that's still going to happen. Let me grab the vintage paper. I think the one thing I'm learning with this whole process is how some spaces can handle a lot and other spaces you just need to back it away a little bit. So if that hangs above it on that soft vintage paper, I think it's just beautiful. I'm going to just nibble out that. See those two white little bits there? Probably supports the whole piece, but we can lose them. So that's a piece there that hasn't come out. Okay, so that will be installed and sit above. Now the other thing, I might just lay it there like that so you guys can see. I can go reasonable height and that's on the ground in front of it or the other mat, we'll see. We need something to go across the top like a runner. Let's have I've just got my little pack of fabrics here that have become my little go-to mouse pack. That's a pretty piece. Sort of like that check as well. Where's the mat? Might just bring this mat in. I have a feeling this will be the mat. Just fits really well with that fireplace. So then what do we use for the fabric on top? Do we go a gold? Sort of do like that, but it's such a beautiful piece. I don't know if I want to use it in a mouse house. There's nothing else there catching my eye unless we go to one of these jelly rolls. No. Here's a piece of fabric that's sitting out. Do we do a scrappy thing? I do like this. See, checks are great because that allows me to see lines. Probably only need needs to be there. There we go. I like that. Just think we need a bold colour there. And I like the look of this. Might do a bit of a layered thing. Bring that forward a bit. And then put that there. Oh, I like that. Fray you up. So it's like a little runner. And I might just pop a few little stitches in that to hold it. Now on the fireplace is their collection of brass bits and bobs. So you can buy the little bunny to take home to your chateau. There's a vintage sewing machine, which I've always had plans to sit on the fireplace. And then because it's a Christmas shop, we can add Santa. So I'm liking that. Now, stockings. The plan was to use this velvet. See this here? And I was hoping, hoping to cut, because it's got a backing on it, so it just doesn't fray. So that's going to buy me some grace. Stockings. So if we just, like mouse scale, oh my goodness. Already I think they're too big for what we want, but we'll start. They can be giant stockings. Oh, you know what we need is a sack, a Santa sack. Oh my goodness. Just gets bigger and bigger, doesn't it? What do you think? Tiny little Santa stocking. It's good that it doesn't fray. Oop. Yeah, that's pretty good scale-wise. Can you guys see that? I'm not looking at the camera. And it needs some fringe. Look, 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 look. That just came off that matte fabric. That will give me, that's a selvage. Oh, seriously, that is adorable. Oh, that's it, done. I can make a couple little stockings. So I could actually turn that over and it's white. One little mousy stockings. Oh my goodness. Well, I think we need a Santa sack with some prezzies in it. There we go. One little mousy stocking. Oh my goodness, that's just adorable. I just don't know how I'm going to hang it. And do they need to be bigger? Possibly. Let's do a slightly bigger one. That would make a fantastic Santa sack fabric. We sell Santa sacks in our store. All right, one thing at a time. Another stocking, slightly bigger. This might be too big. Little baby mice, bigger mice. Maybe it all works. I actually like the trim, that fur with the bit of colour in it. I'm going to switch that around. It's like got a picked up a little bit of the greens and golds. Yeah, to me that looks more interesting than the white. So I'll just flip that. Maybe we do a couple sizes. Family of mice. See, where does it end? How do I attach it? How do I attach it? What about we could put a rope through and we make it look like they're on little pegs. Different sized stockings will work for me. Some little ones, some big ones. We could have a card or two hanging over the rope. Oh, so many ideas, too much, slow down. No, just go for it. Put the accelerator on. All right, so we've got some little stockings. I'll explore that a little bit more. I think I'm going to use all of them in that size. Maybe I'll just cut one more. Can I get a stocking out of there? I think I can. Because I want to make next or cut out. I can't get it out of there. There's a snip where you don't want to snip. Okay, one more. Stocking. Mum, Dad, and the kids. Is that how it works? Move that over. Yep, Mum, Dad, the kids. 3 little stockings. How adorable. I'm thinking some form of garland there that then these can be attached to. And I'm thinking it'll probably be a Hessian rope sort of product. So that's that. I'm going to keep that just in case I want more stockings with trim. Now the Santa sack. I think I'm going to sneeze. Hang on a minute, guys. Okay, I'm back. Bit of a sneezing attack there. Now I feel like I'm getting a sniffly nose. I'm just cutting out a bit of a rectangle. I don't know if this is going to be the right size. You never know when you're doing these projects out of the back of your head. So that would be stitched, gathered, semi-opened to look like a Santa sack. So let's just pin it and see if it's big enough. If I do a very scant seam. All right, so there's our sack. I might have to do a base. It's too sack-like. I think I'm going to put a base in there. We'll stitch a base in so it sits a bit better. And then we might see if we can turn down the edge. Like we'll turn it in and then we'll turn it back out. That's how we'll get that edge. Just bear with me as I think about the logistics of this. So we turn it in, then turn it back out. We can put fur around there, a white fur, but I don't know, I might keep it a little bit more elegant. Maybe there'll be a braid or something could go there. And then I think our size is right. By the time I turn that under to make a base, actually I might even just gather it because that thickness will then sort of squinch in and allow it to sit. Then we open it up and we fill it full of parcels. Big Santa sack sitting by the fireplace. yes, could be a fraction smaller. Does seem very, very big. So that will work somehow. Some gold cord. I wonder what I've got in the way of gold cord. So that and that is a go to work on. I did grab this out. I was thinking about this and how to make it feel a little bit more like a picture frame. And this is a slither I cut off of my balsa wood, so I could cut myself another one of those and I could frame this. The thing is to make it feel a little more substantial, because I'd like it to sit just in the back. But do I need it? Like, that'll make it look really substantial. I could even just sit it on that. Oh, look, it's a sign. Anyway, I've got to think about that. I sort of want that leaning in the background, like a calendar. So that's also to be worked on, and that. Okay, I think that's it. I do need timber for the fireplace. Oh, I did find I had another basket too. I had one of these, and I was thinking about maybe I could make some poinsettia flowers also for my shop and use this to put them in. So stay tuned. I've still got in my stash a heap of the poinsettias that I pulled apart to do my Christmas panel. These are all the leaves. So my thought at 3 in the morning was that I could potentially create some poinsettias, and then I could also add some to my Christmas tree. So it'd be a case of nibbling out little flowers, getting some wire. This is a needle, but if I could get my florist wire and just glue them onto that, and I could make some poinsettia flowers out of all of those bits, and then make put my blue tack in there just like I did with my plants, and we make a basket of Christmas flowers as well. So that's also on the list. Oh my goodness. I haven't even started on this. This is going to be all the crockery that I can find and anything I can think of for a party. So stay tuned. I don't think I'll show you too much of that because I've got to go hunting and I can't see much being made here. I might be wrong. I'll just merchandise it, glue it all down, and that will be ready to put into the house. There's more work happening here than I did anticipate, like usual. All right, there we go. We're off and racing for another day working on the mouse chateau. I shall get back to you all in a moment. Bye. Yes, it's me again. I was just sort of packing up my bits and bobs to make a bit of a workstation, and I was thinking about this gold thread. So I went to my container of gold threads, and I'm pretty confident that something in here I can use to string across the top of the fireplace, or potentially plait it. That actually looks pretty good. Oh, I like that. It's like got two-tone. Save that for embroidery. So that's my thoughts with the fireplace garland. And I somehow attach it. I could probably take it behind the fireplace so it doesn't bow. See, this is a prime example of maybe the scale of this particular thing. Yeah, that'll work. And like that. So I can glue that into position, and then my little stockings can hang off of it. See, this tells you your scale really quickly. I could stitch them into position. Like, oh, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's like all fingers, fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. Yeah, something along that line. It's just a case of which size, and I'm thinking they're probably mousy. That one might be a bit big, so that's only just held there ever so slightly. I'm going to trim you. My phone is buzzing. Leave me alone. I want to play in my mouse chateau. Let's just... You think you're early when you're out and about filming your videos and playing at 5 o'clock in the morning. But no, someone's up. There we go. I think that's better size. They're subtle. Is that same size as that one? Just about. Just a little guy. So anyway, I'll fiddle with this some more and sort of look at scale and decide, you know, where we go with this. Oh, it's so fiddly. But I've got plenty of selvage, so I can muck around a little bit with it. There we go. I like that. This one's a bit odd in shape. Anyway, I should be toddling off because I'm just wasting valuable airtime here by fiddling. I think that's it. Be something like that. Anyway, leave them be. Attach them to that. So we do. I'll need to do separate bows. What does that matter? Do I want tails for the bow? Do I need tails? Is that enough of a garland? I think it might be. Otherwise I'd have to do its own loop and then attach the two bows. It can look quite heavy when you do that. So what I mean is you do a loop like that, then you come back with an actual bow, so you get the two tails. I think I'm going to do that. In my head, that seems better. I'll put a bit of glue in there to make sure that that holds. Make them generous for now. How do I do it? Like a shoelace, and then just tweak it a bit until they're the same. I wonder if I could make mini pegs to pin them up. Oh, seriously, where does it stop? That's about the same size. That's a waste of garland. The bow, that's what I'm talking about. I was about to trim that and waste half an inch of valuable gold trim. I would not sleep at night knowing that I had wasted that. Oh, silly, isn't it? There we go. That's pretty good. And then that will just be anchored there, go through at a scallop. Let's get it sitting right. That can dry today. And then they will go on there, so it'll look like it's being held. And then that's it. It's like a little gold lame. And then we'll work out what we're doing with the stockings, and they can be attached so they now have somewhere to hang. Oh, love it. All right, I am going to go now because once again, another 5-10 minutes slides on by. I'll talk to you later. Well, welcome back again. This is the final showing of all of my little elements. I'm going to call it at that. I feel like I've spent hours, days, days working on all this, and I'm thrilled with everything, and it's time to do the final installation. The fireplace is already on the back wall. I'll take you over there in a moment, but I just thought while we've got good light and we can easily see the new elements, we have now got a advertisement sign. Maybe a mouse will buy this, take it home and install it into their house, outside the house on their patio, who knows. So just a nice piece of artwork, and it looks super cool in the little shop. The flowers, so they worked out a treat. Tedious, but they worked out a treat. That's them there. I ended up getting some leaves that were on a stem, single leaf on a stem, and I had a cluster of them. I don't know where I got them from. I've had them in my stash for years. I think I was using a lot of paper flowers on journal covers back in the day. So I just took the leaf. That gave me a stem that was green, and then I just cut out little bits of that fabric that makes poinsettias for me in my Christmas shop, because it's a poinsettia leaf, and added a little button, some more leaves, the blue tacks in the bottom, the PVA glue on top, sprinkled in some of the walnut, crushed walnut, just like I did for the nursery that Theodore looks after next door. So really happy with that. I've got a spare flower already on the sideboard of the fireplace. Oh, I know what I haven't done is put the timber together for the fire. I'll have to go outside and get some timber. It's very windy today, so it'll be very unpleasant traipsing around looking for dead sticks. But anyway, that is on the list to do. So there's one of these on the fireplace, and this one's going next to this little scene. So my little Santa's sack is done. Look at that. And I found some teddy buttons from the 90s. Oh my goodness. You go through some old containers of things from very early craft room day supplies and storage, and it just, the memories flood back. So buttons from the 90s and some parcels. Inside those, I was racking my brains what I had that was small enough to wrap up as a parcel, and in the end I just used some of the balsa wood and just created some chunks and wrapped it pretty easy. Made a little extra one here. That one's going to sit on the floor at the base of the Santa sack, so it's fallen out, and I couldn't help but take another button bear. So the Santa sack next to the fireplace is going to have, these little parcels. I ended up putting a few stitches in to pull the front edge down too, just to get that crumpled sack-like feel. So I had to sort of manipulate that a little bit just to get that aesthetic. And my rug is complete. Now, this was planned for the front of the fireplace, but I'm not going to put it in there. It just feels like it's too much. So I'm actually going to use it in the next section, and I think the Christmas shop could drift in behind Theodore's pop-up plant place anyway, and I can easily see it where the Christmas shop is really deep, as the roof above or the floor above comes right out to the edge of the house, where when you go over to where Harold is, or not Harold, where am I getting Harold from? Fudgy, what's to do with Harold? Theodore, it steps back a bit, so it allows you to see to the back wall a lot easier. Okay, so that's those Christmas elements. Now, as you leave the Christmas shop, there's that funny corner next to the fireplace. And I had planned to create a pop-up, buy everything you need for Christmas little stand. So that has been done. On the bottom, we've got cookie cutters on a cheese board. That's the cheese boards I painted for Theodore's signage. I painted them black and wrote seedlings and seeds and potted plants or something I wrote. And then that paddle end became, you know, the back of his plant stands. So I had a little tray, some bakeware, the whisk, and a couple books that turned up on my desk somewhere. I thought one of them was a cooking book, so I've commandeered them and slid them in. A little bit of silverware. I've sort of glued those two together, the spoon and the one underneath. The one underneath is just huge, very out of proportion. But I thought, you know, when you're cooking, you sometimes see those little ceramic bowls next to the stove, so you've got somewhere to rest your spoon. So maybe a mouse will buy that as a set, because they're not really sets, but they look cool together. I had a spare set of the blue crockery. I've got some upstairs in Skeeter's kitchen, but she just doesn't have the room to have the whole lot, so I'm sprinkling a little bit down here. Maybe she'll pop in later and pick up some more pieces to add to her collection. I've got 3 of these little ceramic trays. I've kept one for the fabric shop, maybe serve some afternoon tea on it. The creamer and the milk has gone in there. Everything's glued down, so, you know, it's not going to fall. Another tea set here, you know, the cups, the saucer and the plate. A little combination there. And that's the jug. The lid wouldn't fit, so I've just glued it to the side, and I think it looks really cool. There's an old picture frame with a married couple in it. Not sure the relevance of that, but I can always take it out, put something in it at some point. And then at the top, I just did a combination of this pink plasticware. We're going to call it depression glass pink. I'm really hoping it fits. That tumbler at the back is quite large, but I can remove it, and I could probably even cut it down to size, like snip a bit off and lower it. A couple white jugs and a glass bowl. So, you know, if you want to present some flowers or something at Christmas, you might want to gift them in a nice bowl, a trifle bowl. Yeah, so I had a spare silver tray, so I've put that in the back just to bounce a little bit of light around. What else do I need to show? I think that's about it. So yeah, it's time to head over to the chateau and finish installing the last of these elements, and we'll turn the lights on and we're done. I'll see you there. Okay, everything is in position. It's amazing actually when you start really positioning things. Like I double check lots of things, you know, as I make things, think of things. It's in and out, in and out. But as I laid this out in its entirety, I've actually redesigned the back wall of the wall behind the plant, the pop-up shop. I'll show you that in a moment, but it'll make sense when I get to that area. All right, let's have a little look. We've got Ellie in the scene. She's arrived. She's got management rights to this little shop. She doesn't own it, Skeeter does, but she's certainly part of Skeeter's team to manage the little pop-up Christmas shop. She's got a poinsettia in her hand. She's restocking the poinsettias in the container. She's just busy, you know, getting things ready. I'll come down with the camera so we can see the back of the actual little room. We've got the fireplace. You can see the old sewing machine. I didn't end up using Bunny. It was just too much. And that Santa has been everywhere. He's been on the floor. He's been up the front, down the back. And he's found his home there next to the old calendar and a little Christmas tree. You can see the piece of artwork on the back wall. Absolutely love it. It really just helps merchandise the retail outlet. The bookcase, which is now a crockery stand, is looking great. Everything's in position. The glassware at the top, aka plastic, is perfectly fits, so really good. Happy with all of that. You can see the rug on the floor. As you can see, I only needed the one. It was just too much to have the two, so that got pared back. I moved the decorated Christmas tree to the far back corner, and of course Santa's sack is in position, plus the additional teddy and gift. What else have I done in there? I think that's about it. Most of the other things were already down. Oh, the basket of stars at the bottom corner here, they got moved when I had the thought of making some poinsettias, so I did a little switch there. The wrapping paper's tucked in behind the mail your letter to Santa. And what else do we have? I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think you're up to speed on that. Now, if I just pan across to where our friend Theodore is, you'll notice that that Christmas sign that I made is in the, oops, just getting in position, is in the back corner. It was right up on the seeds and bulb stand, but it was just blocking the through view. So I decided it needed to go there, but that tall bookcase was there. So I've swapped them, and I absolutely love it, because what I have planned next for that back wall, the line of sight to that white tall boy at the back there is going to be very valuable. So that's the plan. Oh look, there's a bit of washi tape on the ceiling there. See that purple? I need to get that down. Right, where is it? Under there. A little bit of washi tape. I used the washi tape to hold the lights into position until I worked out exactly where they were going. So I need to remove that. What else have I got in here to tell you about? There's the mat in the back corner. You can see how it just sort of has its own space. It just would have been lost at the fireplace. And once the Santa sack happened, there's plenty happening over there. Okay, well, that's it. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great time with family and friends. And I will catch you in the new year with the next episode, which is going to be the background to Theodore's plant shop with the whole new pop-up shop concept. But I'll keep that under wraps until we're back. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys. I think the girls want to have the final say, like usual. So I'll leave it to them. Bye, guys.
Oh, hi, Ellie. Your shop looks amazing. Mum did a great job at setting it all up. There's so many goodies in there. Oh, I might have to slip over the back there and pick up some more of that blueware. Oh, cookie cutters, cookie trays. Oh, I could do with some of them. Come on, let's get going. We've got more things to do in preparation for Christmas. We just wanted to drop in, say Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome Ellie to our humble abode. Merry Christmas. Bye.